Hello and welcome to Texas Tech Athletics virtual event, Opportunity Amid Chaos. Tomorrow night we're going to tip off some March Madness, but tonight we want to share this information with you. We think it's important and we want to really get this message out to the Texas Tech fan base. There has been so many changes in college athletics. We all know that. We watch it every day, and some might even say it's chaotic. But really what happens when you have chaos, there's opportunity. And Texas Tech has seized on this opportunity through our tremendous leadership. From our Board of Regents to our Chancellor to the President to our Athletic Director, all have been on board to kind of move forward and make this process work for Texas Tech. Regent Cody Campbell has gone around the state over the past few months sharing our vision and how we've adapted to the changes for the past 3 years and what we can expect starting on July 1st as everything will change in the summer. But tonight we also want to share with you some of the processes, some of the things that are going on behind the scenes, starting with the ruling that we expect on April 7th. So a lot of that here we want to get to you tonight, and we want to pack it in. Make no mistake, Texas Tech has been a leader in the NIL space and in the collective space. And now we're going to be a leader in the revenue share space. We want to share this information with you because it only works because of you. We are successful because of you, our fan base, our tremendous fan base. Red Raider Nation has always come through every time we've asked. So tonight, we're going to hear from Athletic Director Kirby Hocutt. We will be joined by Regent Campbell, who's really been a big part of our collective. We'll be joined by our Senior Associate Athletics Director for Development, Andrea Tyree. And everyone is talking about that tremendous portal class we signed in December. It took a team to do that. We'll be joined by Coach Joe McGuire, and he'll have one of the members of that portal class. So we're glad you could join us tonight. We look forward to sharing this information with you. There is opportunity amid chaos, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Texas Tech Athletic Director Kirby Hocutt. Welcome back. I am now joined here in the Gary Peterson Field Club on the south end zone with Kirby Hocutt, our athletics director. And Kirby, what a great spot and a great place for us to talk about some of the successes we've had this year. Right, we've seen it right now. We've got so many teams ranked in the spring, and it's been a great season so far.
It's been a great season so far. And as we sit here today in the Gary Peterson Field Club, my mind goes back to this past football season, right? And the energy and the activity that was in this space. We're sitting where the team came out onto the field each and every Saturday afternoon. So just the energy, the support, the excitement of where this athletics department is now, I think is all embodied with where we sit now and thinking back to the fall.
Tell us how those successes on the field, one of the things you like to say is everything we do has a scoreboard, right? On the field, how does that translate to maybe the bigger picture for Texas Tech athletics?
That's a broad question. Right. And when I think the bigger picture of Texas Tech athletics, I believe you have to start with our goal and our expectation. And that is we want to win. We want to win at the highest level. We want to win on the national stage. To do that, it's challenging. It is so challenging to win at this level. And I think it starts with the alignment of this university, from the Board of Regents to Chancellor Mitchell to my boss, President Skuvanek. I tell our head coaches all the time, we are so fortunate that as an athletics director, as a head coach, that we have the boss, the president that we do in President Skuvanek. His support, his engagement, his understanding of the positive role that intercollegiate athletics can play is tremendous. So I think it starts there, with the support from the top, the alignment, and then the continued expectations that we want to compete on the national stage and win at the highest level.
There's a phrase that athletics is the front door to a university, and that's probably more true today than ever. How do you see that?
Well, I see it in a lot of ways. Number one, when you think about higher education and just the many facets of higher education, the complexities of higher education, all of the work that is done on this campus, all of the academic degrees, the medicine, the research, And for us to say that athletics is the front porch for all of that, is it right? I don't know, but it is true. And it's so important that we conduct ourselves and we compete in a way that brings pride to this overall university and to our community and to our alumni base. So it is so important that Texas Tech is competitive, that we're successful on the national stage, because it does positively shine on this university, and that's very important responsibility that we all carry day to day. So in today's ever-changing world of college athletics, it is more important than ever that we are successful to serve as that front porch, if that's how we want to describe it, of Texas Tech University.
You were kind of ahead of what's going to happen, right? And you saw what was happening and in college athletics, and so we were out front, I think, with NIL, and then we saw the Matador Club, and what came out of the Matador Club, and it's one of the most successful operations and collectives there is in the country. Talk a little bit about the Matador Club and what that has meant to what we're trying to accomplish here in athletics.
Yeah, definitely will. But first, you say, it's not me. It's the Red Raider Nation. It's all of us, right? It's the expectation and the level of support that Texas Tech Athletics enjoys from all of our donors and all of our season ticket holders in the great community of Lubbock and West Texas. But the Matador Club, it's the best in class in the name, image, and likeness collective. It was started by two former football players, Cody Campbell and John Sellers, two of the most successful businessmen in our country. So with that being said, you can only expect that they would come in and set up the Matador Club in a first-class manner, just like they run their business, and that's what they did. I would say that the establishment of the Matador Club and, Cody Campbell, John Sellers deserve the credit for that. I believe what they did, obviously they've made significant investments into our student athletes, the way that we have acquired the talent that we have within this department today. But I think even broader than that, they gave us the encouragement and the confidence that we were going to continue to compete at the highest level. They gave us the confidence that, hey, we are going to be a national player in the college athletic space as we look forward into this new landscape. So I saw a first-class organization set up by two of the most successful businessmen in our country, and with the expectation that we're going to continue to hold the aspirations and the goal of being the very best that we spoke about a couple of minutes ago.
So Kirby, talking about that success, John, Cody, Gary Peterson, we could sit here all day and talk about names of help. What do you think contributes the most to the success of the Matador Club?
Well, Gio, I think that's a pretty simple answer. One, it starts at the top, right? And the individuals, Cody, John, who established and put the Matador Club together. And then it's our donors. It's the thousands of individuals and families that have contributed to the Matador Club that had given us the resources to be successful. The Matador Club has raised over $30 million since it was established, which is just incredible for the generosity that we've seen through the Matador Club. But I believe also that it's been successful because we have honored every single contract that the Matador Club has signed with our student athletes. That's not happening across this country. If people are honest and speak publicly, not all universities have honored the contracts through their collective. We have honored every single one of those. So leadership, generosity from the donors, the ability to honor every contract that we've committed to, and then I think the alignment, second time we've talked about alignment, but the alignment between the Matador Club, our head coaches, and the general managers in each of our sports has been critical. And we've been very strategic as well, very purposeful in the investment that we've made into the sports that generate the revenue and provide the highest profile for Texas Tech athletics, and we're talking about football and basketball.
So as we get to this point, we feel like the Matador Club is really humming along. Collectives across the country are kind of figuring it out. Now it's going to change again. April 7th, the ruling. What's that going to do?
Well, April the 7th is the date in which Judge Wilkins has scheduled the final hearing for the settlement of the House case. And that is a date when she will, hear the objections to the House settlement case, and ultimately she'll make a final ruling. Will it be on April the 7th? Will it come weeks after? Will she change the terms of the settlement? Those are things that we do not know, but we know on April 7th that there will be the final hearing for the House case, and I would not even pretend that I could assume what she will do. However, everything that I hear is that things continue to move forward to approval of the settlement, but of course that's in the judge's hands.
Based on what you know right now, the knowledge you have, if it goes the way you think it will on April 7th, what does that mean for schools across the country?
Well, it will mean that we have a new structure as to how we compensate players in the college athletic landscape. Each school will be able to compensate players, share revenue. Revenue sharing is the term that we consistently have used, with what we anticipate to be $20.5 million that could be shared with your student athletes throughout your entire athletics department. How you decide to distribute, allocate those dollars is dependent upon each school's individual decision. So there will be a new standard that's established related to student athletes being able to share in the revenue that is generated by athletic departments.
$20.5 million, that's a lot of money, right? So we know that some of our counterparts are not going to be able to participate at that level. We are expecting to participate. Talk a little bit about what Texas Tech is going to do, how this is going to look.
Well, you said it. We are moving forward with the plan to participate at the highest levels, to share $20.5 million with our student athletes beginning July the 1st is what we anticipate with the judge's decision that's coming in April. So July the 1st, we will be able to share $20.5 million with our student athletes. We at Texas Tech, and I say we, again, we're going to go back to alignment. The Board of Regents, the Chancellor, the President, and the Athletics Department have made the commitment that we're going to contribute at the highest levels. And we do that through the continued generosity of our donors. We do that through the alignment and support that we receive through Texas Tech University. And then at the same time, we've challenged our team to really think hard, look into how we're going to identify and generate new revenue streams as an athletics department. We're going to have to continue to think more like a business than we ever have before. How do we develop the commercial business of Texas Tech athletics? And as you know, Gio, those are conversations that are ongoing and we've been having for quite some time.
So as we go along, we're going to have Regent Campbell on next, just talking a little bit about the journey also. How do you see the timeline? And for people watching, we have 250,000 living alumni. How can they help? What can people do to help?
In the numbers, right? And the Red Raider Nation, it's a large, passionate fan base. We're a large public university in the great state of Texas, and we need all Red Raiders to contribute to the Matador Club up until June 30th, based on what we know today. Beginning July 1, when revenue share officially kicks in, the Matador Club will then come underneath the umbrella of the Red Raider Club. We will have announcements and timelines as to the rollout in the weeks and the month ahead. But with that being said, up until June the 30th, we need all Red Raider Nation to contribute to, at what level, whatever level that you can, to the Matador Club. And then after that, everything will continue to be under the Red Raider Club umbrella. So more to come there. Now our focus is the Matador Club until the end of June.
All right.
Until the end of June.
All right, our QR codes are on the screen. You can give to the Matador Club. You can give to the Red Raider Club. Like Kirby said, we need you. Hopefully, again, our fans have always, donors, fans, alums have always stepped up.
Always. And I think that's what's so special about being a Red Raider. And it's the fan base, it's the alumni base, it's the community, it's the region, it's the state that support this athletics department. as well as any athletic department across the country. And it's that support that allows us the ability to compete on the national stage. We've proven it yet again with the Matador Club. And as we go into this new landscape of college athletics, we ask for your consideration and would expect to continue to receive that support.
All right, Kirby Hocutt, thank you again, Kirby, for your time. When we come back, we'll be joined by Cody Campbell.
It changed the stadium dramatically. It is a beautiful place to watch a game, and it is rowdy.
Not an empty seat to be had. The toughest ticket in all of Texas this week.
You kind of draw a circle around Lubbock and you can go 3 to 4 hours any direction. And, you know, they grew up wanting to wear the red and black. And, man, it is fun. You know, I want to win. But whenever I get around those people, just the passion and everything, it just drives me even more.
Get your 2025 season tickets today.
Hey, we are back. We're now pleased to be joined by Regent Cody Campbell. Cody, as you look out on the field, what a great view. We're here in Coach McGuire's office, but Cody Campbell Field, your name there, it's got to kind of feel surreal, right? You're a multi-generational Red Raider family. It's got to make you proud and your whole family proud.
Yeah, I'm super proud of it and proud of what we've all come together and built here. You know, not just the stadium, but the whole program. I mean, things are going the right direction, kind of in every aspect, from a recruiting standpoint. Love our coaching staff, from our leadership. You know, from the very top all the way to the bottom. Everybody's pulling the rope the same direction. I think we've set ourselves up to win a lot of games.
So let's talk a little bit about the collective, the Matador Club. You're the co-founder, and it's been one of the most successful ones in the country. What do you think drove that? What do you think made that so successful?
Well, ultimately what's driven the success of the Matador Club is just the passion of the Red Raider fan base. And we have around 3,500 members of the Red Raider Club, some giving large amounts, some giving small amounts. But we've been able to raise around $30 million since we started and have become pretty universally recognized as one of the top 10 collectives in the country. We have worked in concert with what the coaches want in terms of building the culture that they want. So, you know, not only have we recruited good athletes, but we've also recruited good human beings. And so, whereas other schools have had difficulty in bringing in transfers and having troubles with cultural issues, you know, off the field issues, we haven't seen that. We've just continued to build the brand, as Coach McGuire says, and this transfer portal season was a great example of that. You know, we have #1 transfer portal class in the country. And those guys are going to make a big difference on the field for us this fall. You know,
everyone talks about it, but we had that tweet where somebody said, "Hey, Cody, go get us an offensive line," and he wrote, "I will." And it was even exploded even more than that, right? You got more than just an offensive line.
Yeah.
When we look across the board, that class was amazing.
That's right. Yeah, so, you know, when we looked at the way that the House v. NCAA settlement worked, a lot of things changed July the 1st. So starting after that, NIL collectives go away. The student athletes are going to be getting revenue share from the athletic department, and the booster money, direct booster money, is going to come out of the system. But we saw this window where there's still kind of this Wild West, no rules thing, and you know, we saw a unique opportunity to leverage our strength, our passion, our ability to raise money to the Matador Club, to add some really good players, to fill some holes. Like, you know, we lost Taj Brooks last year. We needed to bring in a new running back. You know, we were very clearly deficient on the offensive line and defensive line, and as we know, the games are one of the trenches, so we need to make a difference there. We had the worst pass defense in college football last year, so we needed to bring in some guys in the secondary. And so we made those priorities and made a list of the guys that we wanted. So when the portal did open and we had on our board, you know, the guys that we wanted, we actually got the #1 guy that we wanted at every single position of need, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you know, the Matador Club was hugely helpful. The money was helpful, but it also just came down to old school recruiting. And Joey is the best at that. These facilities are amazing. When the guys got on campus, they were blown away. They canceled visits. I mean, we were beating Ohio State, LSU, Auburn, you know, kind of USC, you name it, for these guys. And, you know, I don't know that we've ever been in a position where we've competed on that level for recruits like we have this year. So I think everybody's going to be really happy with what they see on the field. From a talent standpoint, we should be the best team in the Big 12. Now, the ball is shaped funny and it bounces weird ways, and I'm sure we're going to get some bad calls and stuff like that. So, you know, I can't guarantee that we're going to win every game, but what I know is that from a talent standpoint this fall, we're going to have a chance to win every single game.
Probably does your heart good choosing an old offensive lineman, right? To see that see that investment, right, and the big guys up front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it doesn't take a genius. I mean, you watch the Super Bowl this year, and you can see how important the up front play is. If you win up front, you usually win the game. And so, that's what we've set ourselves up to do. We haven't had a defense, I don't know, in many, many years that like the one we're going to put on the field this year. So very excited about that, very excited about the offensive line, and also very excited about the guys, the young guys that are coming up in the system. You know, we're now getting to the point where Coach McGuire's first group of recruits are maturing to the point that they can be contributors, and we've got some studs among those guys. So, I mean, the whole place, you know, the locker room looks very, very different than it did when Coach McGuire got here from a talent standpoint. I mean, we are a completely different roster, and you know, this transfer portal class just adds to that. And so I can't wait to see some guys compete. You know, my biggest hope is that, you know, one of these big transfers we brought in ends up getting beat out by a guy who's just developed
Right.
himself and worked really hard. And so I think this spring ball, you're going to see a lot of competition. You're going to see a lot of good things happen there. But then this fall, we're going to hit some people in the mouth, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
You mentioned revenue share in July 1st, and Kirby has talked, and we've heard others talk, that we're going to do it at the highest level.
We are.
And, you know, you're not just some former jock, obviously a great businessman, a regent. So from that perspective, why is it important for Tech to be at that level?
Yeah, so, you know, my perspective on it has shifted since I've been on the board of Regents and understood how the business of higher education works, how the business of an athletic department works. And what we know for sure is that success on the athletics field brings exposure. Exposure brings students to apply. Applications bring enrollment. And enrollment is ultimately what drives the business of college. And between the period of 2011 through 2021, nationally, undergraduate enrollment fell by 14%. Tech grew during that time period, but we have been flat for the last 3 years, so a little bit of a canary in the coal mine. When you have declining enrollment at a university, that has severe financial impacts on what that school can do. It really affects their ability to accomplish their mission, which around here the mission really is all of West Texas. I mean, when it comes to, you know, educating 70% of the medical workforce in west of I-35, that's what we have to do. Really in all areas of our economy, Texas Tech is the key. And so it's critical that we maintain our strength. Well, it's been studied, it's called the Flutie effect. And when you have success, especially in football, you get more kids to show up and you're able to grow your enrollment. As it stands right now, 20,000 high school students in the state of Texas per year are choosing to leave the state and go to the SEC. Why are they doing that? It doesn't make any sense. It's because it looks fun, it seems like a cool place to go to school. It's not because there are better educational opportunities there. It's not because they have better programs. Texas Tech has better programs. But kids are leaving, kids that we'd want to have here are leaving because, honestly, the exposure that they see on Saturday afternoons. And so athletics are viewed in higher education as being the front porch of the university. And so Texas Tech needs to make sure that it's positioned in a strong conference, in a place where we get a lot of exposure, where we're seen, and have a chance to be very successful. And so making the investments that we make in athletics, you know, obviously it's for our pride, it's because we want to win, it's because we want to beat the other team, but there is a bigger business reason for it. And so, you know, making sure that we get that exposure and have that success are extremely important to the university system as a whole.
This is all kind of coinciding, right? The way college athletics, NIL and Rev Share have changed athletics. We're seeing the conference shift. You talked about the SEC. The Big Ten obviously has a great contract. And there's going to be more movement. How important is it that Texas Tech not get left behind when that happens?
Yeah, so, you know, we've seen a lot of realignment already, and there's going to be more. Over the next 5 or 6 years, the TV contracts are going to roll over again. That's going to cause another round of realignment. We have to make sure that we are optimally positioned when that time comes. Some schools will be promoted to a better conference. Some schools will be relegated to a worse conference. If you're relegated, that means less money, that means less exposure, again, means less applications, means lower enrollment, means a lessened economic impact on the Lubbock area. So for us, for Texas Tech, where, you know, we're not in a spot where we're right on I-35 and everybody gets to see us all the time, we're not in a major metro area, that exposure is very, very important to our university. And so we have to make sure that we're in a spot where we're in the top conference, we're competing at the highest level. And the next few years are critical to that. We have to display that, you know, we can win games, that we can get on TV, that we can get viewership, that we can fill our stadium, and that we can be competitive, and that we're interesting, and something that people want to watch, something they want to be a part of. And so aside from just this little critical period where, you know, we saw this window of opportunity to make an impact in the portal. There's a bigger strategic objective here that is all related to conference realignment and making sure that we are an appealing product, that whatever super conference emerges or whatever other conferences start to steal more teams and all that kind of stuff, that we're in a position where, we're going to be a desirable brand for whatever situation comes up.
So you've done this, you've gone out on the road, you've talked about this to a lot of our donors, a lot of our fans, and you've probably heard this. Hey, I'm not Cody Campbell, right? I don't have Cody Campbell kind of money. My name's not on the field. But it's important at every level to give. And can you talk just a little bit about why that is important, that even if you can only give an X amount, that still counts?
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier, we have great passion. Like when we first started the Matador Club, I was calling people myself to try to get them to raise money, and 90% plus said yes. And, they did it at different levels, but everybody said yes because we all love this place, right? We have 250,000 living alumni. It does not take very much money from each one of those alumni in order to raise the amount that we need to be very, very competitive. And so what, I ask everybody, and, I'm not calling you on the phone to do it, but I'll, say it on this video, give what you can give, do what you can do. If it's, if you can write $1 million check, write $1 million check. If you can give $50 a month, give $50 a month. Every bit counts, and we need to get everybody involved, and we need to get everyone in the habit of doing that annual giving type thing.
Yeah.
With these changes that are coming to college athletics, where we're going to have this new salary cap, we have a $20.5 million added expense to the athletic department with no additional revenue. So we have to figure out a way to come up with that money. And a big part of the way that we're going to do it is through our donor support. So we're shifting our fundraising efforts. You're not going to see us going out and asking for money for new facilities. We're fortunate that we got this facility we're sitting in and kind of in under the wire before things changed. But we're not going to be trying to raise money for new facilities. We're going to be asking people to give on an annual basis to support our budget so that we can pay the players what we need to pay them in order to get the talent that we need in order to be competitive. And so that's what we want people to think about is, start getting the habit of writing that monthly or annual or quarterly check and just being a part of the team, pulling the rope and getting on board with all of this.
I think we're really lucky you, and you could go through the Regents that have been very supportive. Obviously, Chancellor Mitchell, President Skubinek, Kirby. What else can our leadership do you think, to steer this ship as we move along?
Man, I think that I'm very proud to say that we have been way ahead of the curve on all the changes that have taken place. And there have been a lot of changes. It seems like every month there's a new court case, there's a new law, there's a new ruling from the NCAA, whatever it is. And we have been ahead of the curve every time and been very proactive. Kirby has done an incredible job, not being stuck in the old ways of doing things, not sticking his head in the sand. Same thing can be said of Dr. Skubinek, Dr. Mitchell, and our board. We have 100% buy-in and 100% support for the plan that we have. And, our goal and our plan and our ambition is to be at the top of the stack, is to be competitive for the conference every year, is to be in the college football playoff, is to be competitive in men's basketball, and is to position ourselves to be in the highest tier conference, whatever that may be in the future, whenever that time comes. And so there's no hold back. We're leaving it all out there. We're doing everything we possibly can do, and so we just ask that our alumni do the exact same thing.
He's asking you, and I think there's QR codes on our screen right now. You can give to the Matador Club, you can give to the Red Raider Club. It's important to give, keep giving. As we finish up, Cody, and again, thank you for all of your help, but how excited are you, to think, hey, a couple more months we'll be out here playing? Yeah,
I wish we could fast forward and just see these guys play. It's hard to explain how good our roster looks on paper, right? It's hard to explain unless you sat with the coaches and seen them, coach the players and how they interact with them, how good Joey McGuire and his staff are. Like, we have all the pieces in place to be extremely successful. And so, I wish we could play tomorrow and just kind of see it in action, but we're going to have to wait a little while. It's going to be a long summer, but I absolutely can't wait. This is going to be a big year for us. So buy your tickets.
Buy your tickets for sure.
Get online, give to the Matador Club, give to the Red Raider Club, and let's go see what we can do.
That's been Regent Cody Campbell. Cody, thank you very much. We'll be back, and we will have Andrea Tyree of the Red Raider Club.
Light it up on fire. Bet on me, I got you. Pick a number. I get the one. I get the one.
Hey, welcome back to Opportunity Amid Chaos. Robert Giovanetti now joined by Andrea Tyree, who is our Senior Associate Athletics Director for Development. Andrea, we're here in the walkway between the South End Zone and the football training facility, the Womble Football Training Center, which is your favorite part of this building. It makes it the largest contiguous building in the country.
It is, actually. It's a really good representation of us being very thoughtful and intentional about the facility and what we try to do, and the bridge kind of symbolizes that and connects everything together.
So one of the many things that you have under your umbrella is the Red Raider Club, but the Red Raider Club involves so much. Break that down a little bit for us. What does it mean when we talk about the Red Raider Club?
The Red Raider Club is a 68-year-old organization, and it really has always been the primary fundraising arm for Texas Tech athletics, and provides the financial resources for really excellence in our student athlete experience, for our fans, for every single one of our programs. And we're just super grateful for everyone that has supported us really along the way.
Man, you mentioned 68 years. That is a long time. And what we're seeing now is college athletics has changed so much over the last few years, and really from what used to be a glacial pace, now everything is fast-paced and changing. What does that mean for the Red Raider Club?
Yeah, you know, we as an athletics department have had to adapt over the last 3 years, and I think the Red Raider Club is really no different. We've adapted, we've been flexible. I think a lot of that can be contributed to our donors, and they continue to step up really no matter what our structure is, no matter what our model looks like. They continue to give really at every level. And I think that we've been forward thinking, we've been strategic about what the next 68 years look like. And we're really kind of doing our best. And I think we're really being leaders in the space.
We're so lucky at Tech, I think, for our fan base. They step up every time we ask them. We mentioned at an event we had recently, hey, you're our people, right? You come through for us when you need. And so a lot of people are saying right now, what can I do? July 1st, the collectives are going away. What can I do on July 1st? What would you tell them?
Yeah, you know, there is a lot going on, and I think we need to really make sure that we're educating our donors and our fans of how to be engaged and how to impact our programs and all of our student athletes. So today, we need everyone to support both the Matador Club and the Red Raider Club. Really, really important. We have to get through July 1st. After July 1st, the Matador Club will come under the Red Raider Club, and everything will be together. And I think at that point, it's really important that people understand that every single gift matters at every single level. And we do have gifts, and you and I talk about this a lot. We have donors that give at very, very high levels and have very high capacity, and those gifts are very important. And the donor that's giving $50 a month is very important. And I really do believe that this is going to take all of us to really accomplish our goals. And we want our fans to know that every gift really matters, and there's a place for everyone, no matter what capacity is. If you love this place and you love the brand, just to really step up and to help us.
And you've said it a lot, now is a great time to engage. So why is now specifically such a great time?
Yeah, you know, we talk about this a lot, but I think when people give to the Red Raider Club today, they are really being able to impact our rosters directly. They're able to impact the top priorities of our coaches and directly give to these programs and these student athletes. And that's a very different world for us. Yeah, it's so changing so much, just so much so you can see on our screen now are QR codes that you can give to the Matador Club or the Red Raider Club. We need the help, right? We need them to help us out. We really need everyone. We have 220,000 living alumni, and we need everyone to participate where they can. We're so grateful for every donor, and it's going to take all of us for sure.
Thank you again to Andrea Tyree. As we mentioned, it takes all of us. Like we saw in the video, it takes all of us, and we're so appreciative to all of Red Raider Nation. Well, again, everyone has talked about the portal class that we signed thanks to a lot of people in December. Let's go to our head coach, Joey McGuire, and hear more about it.
How's it going? This is Coach McGuire, head coach at Texas Tech. We're inside the Womble Football Center. We're right inside the locker room, and I'm here with one of our newest Red Raiders. I call him Sub-Zero. Y'all will all know him. He'll be playing on the defense side of the ball, but I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Skylar Grill-Howard from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I play defensive line. I'll be wearing number 0 for the Red Raiders next season, and excited to be here.
Yeah, we're fired up about you. So, a couple things. Tell me, whenever you first came into the Womble Football Center on your visit, what were some of the first things whenever you saw it that you thought of?
When I first walked into the building, you know, there's a big Matador on the horse when you first walk in, and like everything felt like slowed down and like kind of like unreal, like you're in a movie. And I'm like, dang, like, because I played Division I ball before I came here, and like this just blows like a lot of facilities around the nation out of the water. And touring, like when I was here touring on my visit, he took over the tour, and just seeing everything for what it was just like unreal. It kind of felt like you were a kid in a candy shop. Like when you're playing football as an athlete, like this is everything that you want to have, everything that you need, and just a blessing from God to be in a place like this, because this place is insane.
Well, so you come in, I did take over the tour because it's one of my favorite things. As Coach Wood, our new DC, says, it's a football resort. This is a football guy. He loves football, and so if you love football, this is a place to be. So tell me, now you've been here for about a month, let's start with, what is your favorite room or favorite thing in the Womble?
For me, even when I was on a visit here, my favorite room was the training room, because like the stuff we have in there, I've never seen it ever before in my life. And we have hydrotherapy in our own locker room. But like as we're doing the tour, there's like water beds that if you sleep in for 30 minutes, it'll be like you're sleeping for 3 hours. The cryo chamber, which I was actually in today, it was super cold. All different types of therapy, to where if you do get injured, you'll be back as quick as they can help you out. Everything in that training room, I've never seen it before, so just seeing all of that was just like, I was super happy about it, because like, as Coach talks about it, your body is the moneymaker, and what I like to say is the same thing, but like your best ability is availability, so having that training room is just a blessing.
I think most people looking at you would probably say the weight room, but I know you love the weight room too.
Yeah.
What is, for me, whenever I start looking at this building and everything, what are some of the things here in the locker room, the players' lounge, that are going to help us become a closer team?
So obviously we have our own recovery lounge with the hydrotherapy and TVs and stuff in there. Then we have an upper player lounge with a bunch of chairs, TVs, games, and there's also a studio in there if you want to do podcasts. I know the linebackers do that. And then we have a bunch of games, pool, ice hockey, ping pong, and then we have the basketball, mini things. Like the guys are in there all the time, so everybody's getting closer each and every day. Like even with us new guys that got in, we feel like we've been in the part of the team since we got here as freshmen, but obviously we haven't, but we're all getting that close. So I think like those things are a big asset to helping the team just bond. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So I know everybody's going to get to see video of this building and everything. My maybe last question is, have you taken a nap yet in your Sub-Zero recliner?
I probably took like a 15-minute nap, but I'm not too big on naps throughout the day. But it's laying in there for so long you want to fall asleep, but you probably got lifting or something in 30 minutes. So if you do, you might miss that. Somebody come in. You never know what happens when Coach Lance will come up in here. But yeah, those recliners are insane, this whole building, and it's truly just a blessing from all the donors and everybody who put their heart and soul into helping us athletes have things like this, because a lot of people will want to be in our shoes. So that just shows like everybody around this university, the donors, the coaches, everybody really cares. So just having all this stuff I'm truly thankful and grateful every time I walk in this building.
That's awesome. Well, I'm Coach McGuire. This is Skylar, a.k.a. Sub-Zero. He is going to be chasing after a lot of quarterbacks in the Big 12, and we're really excited about our new building, and we can't wait for y'all to experience it.
Thank you, Coach McGuire. Always great to hear from Coach, and we now also know he's a great interviewer on top of being a great coach. They've got spring football, obviously looking forward to that, but can't wait to August. If you don't have your tickets, make sure you get them as soon as possible. Coach mentioned these tremendous facilities. We're here in the lobby of the Womble Football Center. If you haven't seen our tour of these facilities, the South End Zone and the Womble Football Center, go to Texas Tech Plus. You can see one led by our Associate AD for football, Antonio Huffman. He'll take you through. Huff does a great job with that. So we've given you a lot of information tonight. If you ever have any questions, please check with the Red Raider Club or anyone at Texas Tech Athletics. We've got a lot of dates that we're looking ahead to. Obviously, April 7th with the ruling, and then July 1st when all of this changes. We want you to remember right now, we want you to continue to give to the Matador Club. You've done such a great job. You've stepped up and you've helped the Matador Club. Continue to do that through June 30th. After July 1st, we ask you to give to the Red Raider Club. The Red Raider Club will now have all of this under its umbrella, so it's important that you give to the Matador Club through June 30th, and then after June 30th, go and make those contributions to the Red Raider Club. Again, we know that we couldn't do this without you. It has been such a pleasure working here at Texas Tech. It's because of our great fan base. Red Raider Nation always comes through. We appreciate you watching tonight. Remember, there is opportunity amid chaos. Get your coffee tomorrow. Red Raiders tip off very late, and we expect a great run for Grant McCaslin and his team. But thank you again for joining us, and wreck 'em.